And Batman Beyond Neo Year issue number 1 is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing, art by Max Dunbar, colors by Sebastian Chang, and letters by Aditya Pidakar. And this book begins with a string of criminal activity being shown over a monologue of what is meant to be Neo-Gotham's AI consciousness when we see Batman cleaning up the streets, which, when reading the caption boxes, was about 60 days worth of work. We then cut to Terry heading to a party with Wayne Power's new CEO, Donovan Lumos, also known as the Holographic Man. Terry has a quick word with Donovan while managing to plant a bug on him. It's then he gets the recording of Donovan wanting to move a shipment of drugs at the docks. Terry then heads out, heading to meet with Commissioner Barbara Gordon, where he tells her about the drugs that Donovan is smuggling. She asks for the evidence before dropping the bombshell that she's retiring, citing it's due to the low crime and that the police are up for the task now. Batman heads to the docks where he takes out a bunch of armed criminals and destroys the drug cargo. This prompts the attack of a costumed assailant brandishing a light-based sword, and the two get into a scuffle, with neither really gaining the upper hand until Batman's opponent unleashes a large blast, which hits and buries Batman under rubble. And I'll be honest, at first I was like, the hell is going on? Wait, Bruce Wayne is dead? Gotham is alive? And then I saw the caption box that says, hey, you dummy, go read Urban Legends issue number 7 because this is a continuing story. Of which I stopped reading the comic, went to read that Urban Legends issue number 7, and then went, oh, that makes sense. I mean, not 100% because there's still a lot of things like Gotham effectively becoming Skynet. But now that I have context to the majority of this story, I can say it's okay. I mean, as far as the premise itself goes, you know, Bruce Wayne's been murdered, Gotham is basically now alive has its own intelligence and stuff. It's actively working against Terry McGinnis, aka the Batman of the future. Barbara Gordon is going to be retiring, which means Terry's gonna have to handle the majority of this on his own. And in that, it's a really intriguing story. I do admit it does kind of feel like it could be the start of another Future's End. I mean, an AI planning on taking control of the city, and then of course one day, the world. Okay, I don't know if world domination is actually in Gotham's itinerary, but yeah, know what I mean. Because at the heart of it all, what I feel like ends up really hurting the story is its pacing. Because even for a first issue, this is crunching in a lot of information. It's constantly taking us to various places. I mean, we go from, you know, Terry fighting some bad guys, to Terry back to the loft, to then Terry going to a party, to Terry then going to see Commissioner Gordon, to Terry at the docks, to Terry then blowing up drug cargo, and then there's a fight, and then boom, it's the end of the issue. I mean, there honestly felt like enough material here that could have been just cut into like at least 2 issues on its own. And it just kind of creates this feeling that I'm just being tugged from like scene to scene to scene to scene. We ain't got enough time to mess around, so we're just going to the next one. And in that, it does kind of break the immersion for me a little bit. The artwork, however, top notch. You know, it's got that familiar Batman Beyond vibe, which feels like it's partly drawn from the animated series, but then it's also, you know, got like nice, strong comic book tone. And I've always loved the Batman Beyond suit. It's simplistic, yet effective. And the colors definitely really shine here, because like one thing I have always loved about Neo-Gotham is like all of the neon colors that it's got, you know, it looks very futuristic, very cyberpunk. I thought the villain that Batman fought in this was really cool, and I definitely want to get more of that guy, which undoubtedly we will get more of that guy, because, you know, Batman didn't beat him. My only real complaint on the art side of it was the scene where Terry goes to the docks, takes out the bad guys, destroys all the drugs. I mean, so much happens in just that one panel, where things that, you know, I felt like should have, you know, more space to work with are just reduced to these tiny little panels. Because, I mean, you know, destroying all those drugs was a heavy blow to the bad guys, therefore should have been presented artistically in a much bigger way. And kind of makes me wonder if it was like maybe one of those scenarios where the artist was like, oh man, I don't have, you know, many pages to work with. I got to keep the comic book under like, you know, a certain page count. So, okay, some sacrifices are gonna have to be made. But I definitely see the potential in the story. It's ripe with good ideas. It's just some creative decisions kept me from being like completely immersed in it. And this mixture of both positive and negative sort of puts the book in a, it's not really bad, but it's not really great either. It's kind of slightly below average, but just a little higher than mediocre. So with that, I'm going to give Batman Beyond Neo Year issue number 1 a 5.5 out of 10. So Batman Beyond Neo Year, what did you think about this book? If you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I'd love it if you smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.